Good, yeah. I know, like, you celebrated Diwali recently in India. Good. Happy Diwali to you too. Our lesson will start in almost 3 minutes. I hope everybody feels like speaking today because you'll be taking turns to answer the questions and practice your speaking skills for the IELTS exam speaking part. And I'll be happily sharing my feedback with you in the end of the session. In 2 minutes, we're starting. Thank you for waiting patiently. And yes, today we're going to be talking about patience as topic. And being patient is one of the key things to get what we want. So we have a lot to say about patience. You're going to be seeing the things. Questions will help you to speak. So you can start thinking of vocabulary about patience, the situations about patience. Okay, less than 1 minute, then we'll be starting. I apologize for my voice today. I know I don't sound well. I'm just trying to heal, recover. I'm being patient about my recovery process. Okay, welcome all. Welcome to today's speaking session, Clasital speaking session. Today we're going to be talking about patience as a topic. Our questions will help you to come up with sentences to explain your ideas about patience. And now let me share my screen. If you have any problems in seeing my screen, please let me know. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? If you have any problems, you can just text me in the chat box so I can help you. It seems like everybody can see my screen. Once again, welcome to our speaking session. So, like always, we're gonna be starting with a fun tongue twister, and you're lucky today because we have an easy one. So it goes like this. Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more. So I'll try saying it a bit faster. Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more. So as you said, today's one is a bit easy compared to other ones. So who feels like ready to try it? You can use the react button to raise your hand. Okay, Mariam, let's start with you.
Noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
That was a good try. Thank you. Bhagya?
Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
Very good. Thank you. Kubabib?
Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
Thank you. That was a good try too. Gutami? Hello, Dave.
Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
Yeah, that was a good try too. Anyone else? Dave?
Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster more.
Okay, that was a good try too. Anyone else left? Okay, if no one else feels like trying it, we can start our session. Here I go. So here's today's agenda. What will we learn? I'll be sharing some tips and strategies with you about the IELTS speaking part. We'll be working on some vocabulary, and we'll be having discussion questions, part 1, part 2, and part 3, deep discussion. But we're gonna do deep discussion if we have enough time left. I'll be sharing my feedback with you by using the IELTS speaking exam rubric. And these are today's objectives. So today you will learn to talk about your experiences with patients, a memory of yours about patients, and your thoughts about patients. So here are some tips and strategies for IELTS speaking part. Understanding the question and giving a relevant response is important. And being specific and giving detailed information is important too. And you will make some errors, don't worry about them. Instead, correct your mistake if you can and keep on speaking. As like I always say, so the number of error-free sentences should be more than the sentences with errors. So making errors are okay, no problem. Try to correct them if you can. And overall, your error-free sentences should be more than the other ones. And always be confident and smile. That will give the examiner a good impression, and that will show that you're confident about the language. So let's start with the vocabulary practice. Today I have 8 words, and some of them are verbs, nouns, adjectives, and idioms. So in the end, I'll be sharing some idioms and collocations too, but in vocabulary part, we have 3 idioms today. And you can see, maybe you know some of the words, maybe you don't. And these will be the definitions. You can quickly look at them. I'm sharing them one by one. Okay. So these are the definitions and the words. Let's try matching them together. So for number 1, drive someone nuts. in a
I
verb
think
form?
it will be C for number one.
For C,
Yeah, to be.
okay. You
No,
can
no,
also
no.
use
B,
the chat box
B.
to give your answers. You can type your answers in the chat box. B. Yes, I would take B. Drive someone nuts means to make somebody very angry, crazy, and etc. Like going nuts is like going crazy. So drive someone nuts is to make somebody very angry and crazy and etc. Is there anyone who wants to use this in a sentence? That phrase? Yes, Dave.
Bagger drives me nuts.
Who?
Bagger drives me nuts.
Okay, thank you. Okay, for number 2, value as in a verb form. I see some E's in the chat box and I will take it. Value, having no patience could drive someone nuts. Yes, value goes for E, that's true. It's considered important. Value something, value someone. Mariam, do you want to use it in a sentence? Value. If you don't want to use it, that's okay. Is there anyone who wants to use it in a sentence?
I value the customs of my country.
Okay, I value the customs of my country. That's a very good sentence, actually. Thank you very much, Bagya. So number 3, trait in noun form. I see Dave said F, and yes, it's F. Trait is a particular quality in your personality, so personal traits. It will go for F. Who wants to use it in a sentence? Personal traits, traits. Yes, Dave, let's hear from you again.
Patience is a very good trait to have.
Patience is a very good trait to have. Very good, thank you, and it's connected with today's topic. Okay, number 5, hot-tempered in adjective form. Hot-tempered. Think of it in a not literal way, like hot, in terms of degrees, but think of it in a like figurative way. Hot-tempered. Oh, did I miss virtue of number 4? Yes, number 5 would go for A. Yes, hot-tempered. Quick to anger. Yes. Can you give an example? Someone? You can raise your hand. Maybe someone in your life is hot-tempered. Maybe you feel hot-tempered. Yes, Abby.
Yeah, ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer teacher is a very hot-tempered person.
Okay. And I agree with Mariam. My mom is very hot-tempered, and especially when it's about cleaning. Okay. Number 4, virtue. Sorry, I missed that. Virtue in noun form. It came from Dave as D. Yes, that's true. Virtue means behavior or attitudes that show high moral standards. So they're like values, virtues, but when I think of virtue, I mostly think of moral standards. So who feels like using it in a sentence? Virtue? Anyone?
Silence is an important virtue.
Silence is an important virtue. Very good. Especially in some cultures and in some families. Thank you. Okay, number 6, losing someone's cool. It's an idiom. I lose my cool. My mom loses my cool. Loses her cool. G, yes, it goes for G. Losing someone's calmness. So you don't feel calm anymore. Who wants to use it in a sentence? When do you lose your cool? Maybe you can think of your lives. Joe, we didn't hear from you yet. Do you want to use it in a sentence, this idiom? When do you lose your cool? Yeah, Dave wrote in chat box, when I'm hungry, I lose my cool. Yes. Joe, if you're having any microphone problems or if you're having any other problems, you can use the chat box to write me so I can understand and I can help you maybe. Okay, thank you, Dave, for writing in the chat box. When I'm hungry, I lose my cool. Okay, another cool idiom. Keep a cool head. Number 7. We didn't have many options left. Oops. Didn't I share my last one? Yes. Here is the answer for you. Yes, it will go for H, can keep calm in most situations. So it's the opposite of losing cool. So it's keep a cool head. So how is your personal trait? Can you keep a cool head in some situations? Who wants to use it in a sentence? Yes, Joy Paul, maybe we can hear from you.
One should keep his head cool, one's head cool when facing hard conditions.
Okay, I keep my cool when during the hard conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That would be a sentence. Okay, for number 8, walking on eggshells. Again, an idiom. We have only one option left. C, yes. It is hey, to be very careful not to upset or offend anyone. So walking on eggshells basically means being very careful. And when we talk about patience, we can say to be very careful not to upset or offend anyone. So now I'll be sharing some fill in the blanks exercises with you. We have again 8 sentences and 8 words and idioms. So have a quick look on them. Because of my talkative personality, I'm always walking on an eggshell, yeah. Okay. Please look at the sentences. Yes, Kubabe, number 1 would be value. I value your opinions in a verb form. Thank you. I value your opinions, number 1. Okay, number 2. Lose my cool. That's true. I'm going to get angry. I'm starting to lose my cool. Actually, it can be a sentence that I can use in my classroom. Not with you, but with the little ones, maybe. Okay. And my mother is very hot-tempered. I have to. Number 3. And can we please keep our microphones quiet, off, so I can hear everyone? Thank you. Number 3. My mother is very hot-tempered, so I have to. Keep a cool head. Maybe you don't want to make her even angrier. Yeah, Mariam, you're right. So I have to walk on eggshells around her. So if you have a hot-tempered mother, of course you give a like correct answer. Yeah, that would be true. So number 3 would be walk on eggshells. Okay, number 4. Curiosity is one of her notable traits. Traits, I would say, because not traits in plural form, because we say one of her notable traits. So out of those traits, one of them is the curiosity. Okay, number 5. She's going to, especially in relationships, that can be an issue. Yeah, she's going to drive me nuts with her jealousy. Yes, that can be the situation sometimes. Okay, number 6. Patience is not one of her. Number 6. Virtues. Thank you for using it in a plural form, I'm afraid. Okay, number 6. I'm patient until I get in the traffic. Then I become. Number 7. Yes, then I become hot-tempered. I'm not patient anymore. I'm hot-tempered. Okay, thank you. And number 8, keep a cool head. Oh, I already gave the answer. I'm a patient person. I can keep a cool head in most situations. Yes, keep a cool head. Very good. Okay, these are the vocabulary and idioms that we just practiced. So from now on, while giving your answers, you can try using those vocabulary. Okay. All right. So this is our part 1, small talk. So in that small talk, I'm not asking for your extended answers, but a small talk like 2 to 3 sentences from 20 to 40 seconds. And I also provided a sample answer this time. So you can think of what kind of answer you can give. So today's first question will be, do you think you are a patient person? And I can read the sample answer for you while you're thinking. Over the years, I realized its value and have practiced rigorously to cultivate patience. I consider myself a patient individual who tries to stay calm and composed in tedious situations. And I also try to calm people around so that we can together conquer the ordeal by thinking clearly. So that can be an example, a sample answer. As you can see, we have some complex structures and the PIC-related vocabulary. And my question is, do you think you are a patient person? Whoever feels ready can use the react button to raise hand and start. And then I will ask everyone one by one to share their answers. Do you think you are a patient person? Who feels ready? Marianne, are you ready? Maybe you can give an answer. Not really. Okay. Dave?
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I think I'm a patient person. From my past experiences, I've learned that patience is really an important virtue. By being patient, I learn how not to lose my cool.
Okay, thank you for using the vocabulary that we just practiced. That was really nice. Okay, so yes, you can give just short answer from 2 to 3 sentences. Who wants to continue? Gutami, do you want to continue? Okay, Jaipal seems ready. Yes, Jaipal.
Of course, I consider myself to be a patient person. I have developed this quality from with very much hard work. Earlier, I have been a very impatient person, replying to uh, arguments very quickly. Now I have I'm a very patient person, and it helps me get out of many tricky situations which I face on day-to-day basis in my office hours, and that solves many of my problems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jaipal, for sharing your answer. Yes, Mariam.
Yes, I would say that I'm a patient person. Over the years, my mother and my relatives always taught me to be patient and wait for what is going to be in the future and not ask too many questions. And they would always tell me to look around me. If someone who's not patient around me and was like jumping on my head, I would usually lose my cool. So that is what made me that is what made me believe that being patient is a very important thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariam. Dave, I see your question in the chat box. No, 40 seconds is not compulsory. Instead of the duration of your speech, the quality is important for us. So if you're giving very clear answer from 2 to 3 sentences, so that's fine, even that's shorter than 40 seconds. Okay, don't feel the time pressure. Just consider and value the quality of your answer. Okay, Kubaib.
To be honest, I don't think I'm a kind of patient person. I loses my anger very quickly. I'm a short-tempered person actually, and I loses my temper even on the smaller things. Like if someone touches my thing, then I lose my temper. So I'm not kind of a patient person.
Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
explaining that. Okay, Bhagya.
Now I can say I'm patient, but before earlier I used to be hot tempered. But by practicing yoga and breathing exercise, meditation, I came to improve my patient levels nowadays.
Okay, that's nice. These are very good practices. Thank you, Bhagya. Gutami.
Yes, I think I am a patient person because from the situations made me when there is a tedious situations caused around me, I keep a head, and I will be calm at that situation, and I'll discuss about the thing later.
Okay, thank you. I think Joe left. Okay, Abby. I know your exam is over, but if you still feel like speaking, you can speak, you can practice.
Ma'am, actually for this time, I just want to say sorry. I'm not able to speak. Actually, I'm busy right now. I'll just try for another one. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. So you'll just like follow the lesson.
Yeah, ma'am, following up, but right now I'm actually busy. I'll try for the next one.
Okay, thank you, Abby. I'll be asking you for the next question. All right, everyone. Thank you for sharing your answers. It was really nice to hear from you. And here comes my second question. What do you become impatient about? So, what makes you impatient, basically? So, here is my sample answer while you're thinking. At the end of the day, I'm a human, and there are times when I lose my patience. Though I rarely enjoy being impatient, as it's mentally tiring, when people around me cannot adhere to structure after repeatedly explaining to them the essence of it, I do get a bit annoyed at them. Perhaps it's because I thought they understood it, as they didn't have any concerns or questions regarding it. So I would agree with that answer too. So, what do you become impatient about? What makes you impatient? You can take your time to think, then you can raise your hand to start. What do you become impatient about? Anyone? Or should I choose? Okay. Yes, Mariam, thank you for raising your hand.
Uh, I always become impatient around kids. What annoys me most when I'm in a family gathering, my mother asks me to look and babysit the kids in the family gathering. It always upsets me and annoys me so much, and I always lose my temper with them. They are they are so annoying. They just get everything you have and break it, and I try not to shout at them or do anything because they will always cry.
Okay, thank you, Mariam. Good luck with the kids. Okay, who wants to continue? Anyone? So, like in Mariam's situation, we're not looking for something complex, something like not like a complex situation. So basically, kids make her impatient, and she explained why. Yes, Dave.
I become impatient when it relates to food. I love food, and so when I'm hungry, I become impatient and I can't wait to eat. Another thing that makes me impatient is lies. I'm a honest person, so I demand honesty from other people as much as I give them. So when you lie to me, I become impatient with you. Also, I give loyalty and therefore I demand loyalty. If I'm loyal to you, I demand that you be loyal to me also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. That was a very clear answer. Thank you. Giles?
Well, I become impatient when during meetings when we have different departments in a common meeting, and we have some conflict in views regarding some target dates which are not met. So it makes me impatient when somebody makes false charges. And another situation when I feel uh, somebody is doing injustice to some helpless people, it makes me angry and I become impatient. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joy Paul. Kubai?
Um, mm, yeah, emotions are, I think emotions are the essential trait of human being, and anger is one of them. So I've mostly become, most of the time I lose my temper when someone touches my thing without my permission, or someone forces me to do something that I'm not willing to do. or tries to dominate me, and I'm not willing to do that thing. In that situation, I loses my temper and I become furious.
Okay, thank you, Kubai. But here I need to note that impatience and anger, they are two different situations. So impatience is something that you cannot wait for. So like Dave said, the food makes him impatient, so he cannot wait to eat. So don't, please try not to mix it, try not to confuse it with anger, okay? But thank you, like that was like a good answer. Okay, Bhagya?
I become impatient when my class teacher doesn't allow me to leave even though the time is up. And the second situation where I feel impatient was when my boyfriend said he will be right before 5 minutes and he becomes late by 15 minutes. The second situation where I feel impatient.
Okay, thank you. I feel you. All right. Anyone else? I think only Gutami hasn't shared, hasn't spoken yet. Yes, Gutami.
Yeah, I become impatient when I will travel to any place. Then the timings, I will need to wait for the train or buses. This time will make me very impatient. And the another situation where I'll feel like impatient means when someone poke me while during my walk. I lose my coolness and I will get hot temper on them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for using the vocabulary we practiced too. Okay, Abi, do you want to speak or I'm skipping? Okay, if you feel like speaking, you can always raise your hand. All right. Okay. Yes. Now let's have our second section for discussion. In this part, you will have 1 minute to prepare and you will have 2 minutes. Let's keep our
Yeah,
microphones off.
गोविंद कॉल किया था कि कहाँ भाई हम क्या
I think
अभी
Abi
भाई
is
मम्मी है
there.
नहीं कब का 8 ही बजे स्टार्ट हो गया है 8 बजे
Hello.
ही स्टार्ट हो गया है
Thank you. Okay. So this is your task today. So describe a time that you were impatient towards someone. So you should say, who was that person? When was it? What was the situation? And how you feel about that time. So you can use the vocabulary on the right side of the screen. We just practice them. So I will put my timer as 1 minute and then I will ask you to speak for 2 minutes. So this time, yes, the quality is also important, but try to speak as long as you can, okay? So as long as you can and as correct as you can, okay? So here I start my timer for 1 minute. You can start getting ready. Okay, my timer is off. I'm sorry. So, who feels ready to talk about a situation that he or she was impatient towards someone? Yes, Mariam, let's hear from you.
Well, this okay. Well, this thing happened to me actually yesterday. I was at school, and this classmate up to me at break time and asked me to give her the main idea of a lesson that she didn't understand because she was absent that day. So I read the paragraph to her, and I tried to explain it in many different ways, but I don't want to feel offensive to anyone, but I don't know. She didn't understand it. I gave it to her. I told it to her in many different ways, but she still didn't understand it. I tried to give her many key words that I used to understand this lesson, but she didn't get the main idea of it. And in the end, after many tries, she actually thanked me and said that she understand. And then I saw her going to the teacher and asking her instead. I lost my patience. Like she got the breakaway from me. I didn't eat my breakfast, and she still didn't understand for me.
Okay, thank you, and sorry for the situation you went through. Okay, so who wants to continue? Who wants to continue? Yes, Joypal.
Well, I feel I'm a very cool head guy, but I lost my coolness during one of sessions in last week only. I was on shopping for Diwali with my wife. She was searching for a dress for her to wear on this occasion. She was moving from shop to shop looking for dresses, and she was not able to get one of her taste. Finally, when she reached the position when she was able to choose one, she rejected it finally for price negotiation only. So I lost my temper and my coolness, and it made me angry, and finally we left the shop, and that I feel is a very impatient behavior towards my wife, though I apologized later on, and we came back home with a new dress from another shop. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. It sounds tense. Okay, who wants to continue? As I said, the situation doesn't have to be so complex. Yes, good, Tommy.
I want to share a moment which made me impatient. We a group of friends of a group of friends. We are trying. We are planned a trip and we are ready and we went to bus station uh, to to gather all the friends. Then all the friends had gathered, but one of my friend didn't arrive to the bus station. We are used to call continuously to her, but she's telling that I'm about to reach. I'm in 5 minutes, and she made us to wait until 1 hour. Though after 1 hour also she didn't arrive the bus station, and all of my friends uh, lo- lost their cool, and they are at hot tempered. When she arrived at the bus station, all are fired on her, and this situation made her a very. This situation made her sad, and she cried. In that moment, I think I should be keep a cool head, and mm, I should understood her situation, what made to come late. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We have Dave, Kubaib, and Bagya left. Yes, Dave.
Patience is an important virtue, and I consider this as one of my most important traits. So I thought until I lost my cool at Musa. Musa is my roommate, and he did something to me on Sunday, this past Sunday. So I'm a kind of person that when I park my car in the garage, I know the exact point that my fuel level is. So I asked Musa, Musa, did you use my car? Musa said, no, I didn't use your car. This was a blatant lie because I can see that my fuel level has decreased. And on asking around, some friends told me that they saw Musa moving with my car. This made me lose my cool because I hate lies. I consider myself an honest person, and therefore I demand that my friends be honest to me. I asked Musa for the second time. Musa said, no, I swear I didn't use your car. Because of this, Musa looked petty to me. When someone lies and
We can't hear you anymore. Dave, can you check your microphone, please? We can't hear you anymore. Okay. I hope Dave can now come back with his microphone. Kubaib or Bagya? Who feels ready? Yes, Bagya.
I became impatient with one of my relatives. This happened during one of my family function where the family relatives asked for a car as a dowry, which we didn't promise of, and my father became hot tempered and lost his cool, and I felt very sad for asking the car as a dowry. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Dave, it's 1 minute and 14 seconds. So you can actually speak more, but I can consider you as completed your time because probably you had more to say. Right. Okay, Kubai. Lastly, let's hear from you.
I became impatient like about 2 or 3 days ago when me and my friends were planning for an outing, and he called me that I am coming to your house at 9 a.m. Then I called him, and then he said I'll be there within 1 hour. I keep calling him like till 12, and he didn't reach the, he didn't came to my house by that time. So after that, I decided to go to his house instead, and then when I reached his house, then I come to know that he's doing some sort of work. His house is renovating, so he's kind of busy, but he didn't tell me, and I'm very desperate about going to this on this trip.
Mm-hmm. That's it? Okay. Thank you, Kubai. Okay, it seems like everybody had a turn to speak for this round. Thank you. I'll be sharing my feedback in the end, as I said. So now we have deep discussion, part 3. I'm checking my time. Maybe you can choose one of the questions and you can again prepare. You get prepared for 1 minute and you can share your answers with me for like 2 minutes. We can do this practice like last time. So now please choose your topic, choose your question to answer. Then when you feel ready, you can raise your hand to take a turn. So what kinds of jobs require the most patience? Do you agree or disagree that older people are more patient, and why do you think that is the case? So I have 2 questions. Choose one of them. Get ready for 1 minute. Then please share your answers with me. So again, I'll be starting my 1 minute timer. Okay. Who feels ready to give us an answer? Choose. I mean, it's up to you. It'd be less than 2 minutes, no problem. It can be somewhere between small talk and extended answer. Yes, Gutami, whatever you want to say.
The older I disagree with the statement. Older people are more patient because we have a grandma in my home. She was she since she was older, her age, she lost her hearing. Then when she call us, we though we respond uh, to her, but though we respond to her, but she didn't hear our response, and keep on calling us. And another situation which agrees that statement disagree the statement is uh, when I need to give her medicine. If the time goes little bit late, then she will keep on calling us until we give her medicine. And she always keep talking to her, and she will always complain even though we taking care of her. And she will always use it to scold, and she by that time I uh, she draw my nuts, and I use it to fire on her sometimes. But I totally disagree that the statement the older people don't have the more patient where when they even though they are very patient in the younger age.
Okay, thank you, Gutami, for your answer. Uh, Dave?
Okay, I think there are so many jobs that require patience, but out of all of them, I think the one that requires the greatest patience is when you work as a customer care executive. Why do I think this requires a lot of patience? Some people they call you, some customers they call you because they are angry that one or two services are not being rendered. They start raining insults on you. They start calling you, you idiot. You said you would give me such service. Why not giving me this service? I literally lose my cool. But I try my best not to rain insults back at the person because I just want to tell the person you are so stupid, you are so foolish. But because I know I will get sacked, I just keep my cool. Why again do I think this job is very difficult and requires patience? You have to sit for a very long time looking into the screen, taking calls, searching for information, and all. This is so tiring. Also, you can't even end the call while the customer is still speaking or while when the customer is done speaking and doesn't want to end the call. It's like a rule that you have to allow the customer to end the call. So even if the customer is done, but he feels he wants to punish you, you have to wait and listen to him while he says all sorts of rubbish that he's ready to say to you. Again, on top of all of this, we are not well paid. How can I take so much insults? How can I sit for a long time? How can I strain my eyes by watching the laptop screen for a long time and still you pay me 10,000 a month? Who does this? I don't think this is good. And also, you have to show empathy even when you don't feel happy or you don't understand the situation that the customer is in. You have to pretend like you understand the situation and say you're sorry and try to solve the problem. Most times I don't feel sorry, I just want to insult the customer, but I can't do this. That's why I think this job needs the greatest amount of patience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dave. I felt like I like didn't know that side of that job, so that taught me a lot. Okay, Jaipal.
Well, I think the jobs which have like public inquiry services or the nursing services, that people require more patience. Uh, when we face public inquiry offices, the person there faces a number of inquiries a number of times, and he or she have to answer them with very much patience, and to keep his head, he needs to keep his head cool at all the times. There may be a number of repetitions of the same question, uh, like in railway inquiries or in a receptionist job. So it takes a lot of patience to keep their head cool, answering the same question every time. Second job I feel is what the nursing jobs. Uh, when they face the patients which are suffering from some kind of pain, and they keep on repeating or crying, but the nurses have to keep their head cool when serving them in the best way possible and as per the prescription from the doctors. So it needs a very cool head, and uh, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Jaipal. Maria.
Well, I'm going to answer the second question. Do you agree or disagree that older people are more patient? Why do you think that is the case? Well, in my opinion, uh, no one is actually perfect. And you can say that older people is more wiser or more patient than younger people, because in the end we are all human beings. So in many cases we could say yes they are, but not all cases, because we all lose our tempers sometime. And I would say, older people have a more wider view of life, so they could be more wiser and have lots of answers of many questions. but I can't say that they are more patient because in the end we are all human beings, and even a small child could be more patient than an older one, I would say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariam. That was a different perspective. Kubai?
I think uh, the medical services required more patience than the other jobs because of the couple of the reasons. The first is uh, being a doctor. Being a doctor, you require a lot. You have to be a cool head to listen your patient and to become fully open in front of your patient so that he could tell you about his disease, his suffering, what he has been going through, so you can understand him fully and prescribe him the right meds. And secondly, for example, if a doctor is doing a surgery, then it he also needs to be a cool head at that time because certain mistakes happen, and if he loses his impatient, then uh, it could be a lethal for both doctor and for the patient. So every step in the surgery, you need to be more precise and accurate, and you need to be more patient. So that is my answer.
That was a very relevant answer. Thank you, Kubai. And lastly, Bhagya.
I'm going to answer the second question. Why do you agree or disagree that older people are more patient? Why do you think that is not the case? I disagree that older patients are more patient as they keep on repeating the same question again and again, and they will ask us to say the answer repeatedly until they understood. They can't wait for longer time for anything like any discussion to be continuing, and also they becomes annoying for smaller things. The older patient gets short tempered if we don't listen to their words sincerely, and whatever they say is correct, and we should listen to their words. They don't allow us to talk until until they complete their own speech and they ask us to listen whatever they say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bhagya. Thank you for your answer. Okay, everyone. Thank you for answering all the questions. And these are the quick idioms I want to say. I want to share. Number one is the patience of job, the quality of being extremely patient and not complaining. You need the patience of job to deal with some of our customers. And number two is try somebody's patience to make somebody feel impatient. So his stubbornness will try the patience of a saint. So as if you're trying to like break it. Okay. And as you can see here, although it's very small, but like you can like zoom in, this is the rubric that I used while giving you feedback. So I'm not giving you scores or like bands. Usually I'm just giving some feedback to improve your speaking. So we're just practicing here. This is not a real exam situation. So, and this is the rubric that I use. Maybe you can use this to like evaluate your own speech, to assess your own speech, so you can give feedback to yourself. So, around what band am I in? So, what are the traits of my speech? I think you can like zoom in maybe to see better. And while you're looking at it, I just want to give quick feedback to you. So Dave, like I have some familiar names and I have some new names. Dave, like I think you haven't joined my session before, so thank you for coming today. I heard in your speech you're using lots of relative clauses, some complex sentence structures. That was really good. And I really like the intonation in your speech, so that gives the natural fluency. So while talking about your friend, you were like using intonation, and then he said this, and then I asked him, like, what is that? So you were using that kind of intonation. So that was really good. Kubayb, I would recommend you to use intonation more, because sometimes it feels like you are reading from somewhere. But in speaking, we need to hear more like a natural speech, natural intonation, instead of how it sounds in reading. So I would recommend you to use more intonation instead of sounding as if you're reading. But other than that, your answers were relevant. Thank you. Joy Paul, today I heard in your speech that you used many corrections. You corrected yourself many times. And you also gave some relevant answers. That was really good. And Gutami, I would again recommend you to work on your fluency to sound more natural a bit. And your examples were good. Your answers were relevant and good. That was good for you, about you. And Maria, I really liked your answers today. And your fluency was really good. I heard one or two grammar errors, but then you corrected them. So that was good. So I think overall, your error-free sentences are more than the ones with error. And yes, you shared some different perspective about the last question. And Bhagya, in our 2 minutes of speech, I realized that you were just like answering questions, like one by one. But in speaking part, we want to hear more like a story, not like story, but a beginning sentence, then like a body, and then the end. So instead of answering questions one by one, try to connect them. Okay, so it will sound more fluent, it will sound more like cohesive, like a story, and it will sound more natural, as if you're telling something to us instead of answering questions one by one. So this is my recommendation for you. And that's it for today from me. Don't forget to follow our Clasital website for library part. We have lots of practice materials there. And don't forget to follow our other lessons too. And lastly, I will share the form with you for your feedback. Please don't leave without filling that feedback form. Dave, I really avoid grading you by level, because this is not like a real exam environment. So it can be misleading a little bit, but I really like it. I really like your answers today. So overall, I would say around 6.5, 6.5, I would say. But as I said, I avoid giving grades, giving bands to you. So you can check this rubric and you can see where you are actually, where you feel like. Do you meet those criteria? Okay. So you can do self-assessment. You can give self-reflection. Please fill the form before you go. And when you fill it, you can leave. Our next speaking session will be on Saturday, Clasital speaking session. And in the other days, you can also see the other areas, other lessons. You can always join them. Thank you, Ms. Burchin. Your feedback is really important for us so we can improve our lesson settings, lesson designs. so we can help you better. So if you have something to say, please share us in the feedback form. Thank you, Jaipal. Gutami, I would definitely recommend you to work on your fluency, to sound more fluent, maybe to use some connective words like but, because, as well as however, although, so that you can connect your sentences better and you will sound more fluent. Okay. Okay. I think everybody completed the form. So I'm saying you goodbye for tonight. I hope to see you again. Goodbye, everyone.